Thanks for joining us on madison.com. It's time for the Week 3 Prep Rally. I'm Rob Hernandez, and I've been pulled in off the golf course by these guys. Over here, Jason Galloway, and over here, Dennis Semrau from the Wisconsin State Journal. And guys, we're here at the Clement Athletic Complex in Monona Grove High School. And, of course, Monona Grove last year, they were the WIA Division III state titleists. Get it? Titleists?
Yeah, that's why you wore that.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I was a reach, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Week 3 is here, and we get to talk about something other than the Big 8 Conference. Conference play begins in the Badger South, the Badger North, and Dennis Semrau, Friday night right here at the Clement Athletic Complex, a big night. They're going to celebrate past success, but also they're going to hopefully deal with some success this year. Taking on a very good Oregon Panther team are the Monona Grove Silver Eagles, and a whole lot around the matchup on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary of the 1984 state championship team. Dick Rundle, the head coach, will be honored during that game, and that whole team, a good portion of it will be here. But conference opener, couldn't ask for a bigger one. MG 1-1. They got beat the first week on a late rally by Monhor Barneveld. Bounced back 21-0 shutout last week of DeForest. And Oregon 2-0, just like Mike Stassi thought the Panthers would be. Dan Kissling's Panthers 62-7 last week over Portage. A lot of different players contributed to that scoring outburst. So this will be a very good test for both teams to open the Badger South season.
And as we said, conference play, Badger South and Badger North. A pretty good game in the Badger North, Dennis. Reedsburg, DeForest, two teams that were right in the conversation last year for the conference championship, doing battle early on here. How do you see that one going?
Well, last year, when overtime, DeForest was the favorite going in. Their defense had been tough, and a couple late scores, and Reedsburg won in overtime. DeForest would like a little payback for that last year, but Reedsburg had started out 2-0 rather. They were ranked in the first couple of polls by the Associated Press. And DeForest, coming off a tough loss last week, they'll give Reedsburg everything they can handle. You take a look at the top 4 teams, including Waunakee, it's 2-0. And boy, I don't know. This is a great one to start out with. This could go overtime again. It'll be 2 years in a row.
Well, we'll see how that goes in the Badger North. Jason Galloway, you're all about conference games. Big 8 Conference, they start right away in Week 1. We've had 2 very entertaining weeks of conference play in that conference, and it's all led to the big matchup on Friday night. You've got Madison West, Madison La Follette over at Leisure, and the Lancers, they've proven me wrong. I'm going to go on record as saying, after the win last week shutting out Memorial, they're for real.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are. You thought, last week you thought...
You told me so, right? You told me so.
Yeah, I saw them Week 1 against Sun Prairie, and I could tell that defense was for real. Last week you said you thought it was Middleton and then everyone else. I think you got to put La Follette up there with Middleton now after seeing what they did against Memorial.
Man, I'm a believer now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's good.
What do you think about the matchup with West? West was able to outscore East last week, and they're off to a great start under J.C. Dawkins after the win over Verona in Week 1. Can they hang with La Follette?
We'll see. I think we're going to learn a lot about West this week. Like you said, they're 2-0. They had that upset win over Verona, and then they go in and beat an East team who has struggled the last couple of years. So I think going into this game, we know La Follette, how good they are. I think if West can hang with La Follette, we're really going to look at them differently than we do now. I think La Follette comes in as the favorite in this game, but still a lot of question marks on whether, how far West can really go this year, and I think it'll be a really interesting matchup.
And as we look around the rest of the Big 8, Jason, a couple of games that come to mind. My Memorial Spartans over at hosting Sun Prairie on Friday night, desperately needing a win after a couple of tough games, and Sun Prairie, bounced back with a big win over Beloit in a storm-shortened game down in Beloit. That's a big one, and of course the Verona Wildcats need to get a win too. They play host to Janesville Craig. Craig is knocked off Beloit and Janesville Parker. Probably not teams that'll be in the conversation for any type of playoff berth, but still 2 good wins nonetheless. It's kind of odd that we're seeing some must wins by Verona and Memorial here already in Week 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about how unpredictable this conference has been, and I think when you get that kind of unpredictability, you're going to have some teams that people thought could compete near the top who are 0-2 after 2 weeks, and I think for Memorial and Verona, they enter Week 3 really needing a victory, and I think that Verona Craig game is really interesting because Craig's 2-0, but they haven't really been. This is going to be the first week I think they're really challenged, and I think we're going to learn a lot about them as well this week. And Verona and Memorial, both their backs are against the wall, and they can't really afford another loss this early in the season, and we'll see how they play.
Well, we'll see on the Big 8. We'll see on the Badger Conference. Conference play also beginning in the Ridge and Valley, the Scenic Bluffs, the SWAL, and the Trailways Conference. And but still some interesting non-conference matchups as teams that have 6 teams in their conference are trying to fill gaps on the schedule. And guys, one game that comes to mind: number 2 ranked Lancaster against number 4 Arcadia. A great battle. Dennis, we know what Lancaster's all about. John Hoke not afraid to schedule tough, but sometimes you schedule tough, you play the game, and you wonder, boy, that team, they weren't that good, were they? But no, I think Lancaster just that good this year.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we've talked before about the fact that they've been runners-up for the last 3 years at state, and they're on a mission, and I haven't seen anything differently. The last poll for AP ranked number 1 now in the state in small schools, and I think they deserve it.
Well, we'll be here Friday night with live updates on madison.com, wisconsinprepzone.com, and you'll want to you want to mark your calendar and get your Wisconsin Prep Zone app. Get it before Friday. It'll have the live blog in the app. It will also have our live scoreboard as games are called into the State Journal. They'll be updated on the scoreboard function on the app. And, of course, all the great stuff that Dennis and Jason Galloway and Art Kabalowski and our cast of high school sports reporters at the State Journal provide will be on that app. Again, look for it for both Android and iPhone and your iPad. It's the Wisconsin Prep Zone app. In addition to all these guys being on Twitter on Friday night and keeping you posted on everything related to high school sports, but a big Friday night of football, to say the least. For Jason Galloway and Dennis Semrau, I'm Rob Hernandez. Thanks for watching Prep Rally. We'll see you at the stadium.